In this live coding session, there's a point where I find a code smell and I'm not quite sure how to address it yet. So rather than fixing it right away, I make a note to myself that we'll fix it later just to get out of my head and get unstuck. So it's a bit of a wild grab bag of a session, but I hope you enjoy it. 90 minutes of live coding doing test-driven development in Swift UI. Welcome to another 90 minutes of live coding with me, John Reed. I am what am I? It feels silly introducing myself when the folks who are here, of course, know who I am. Welcome, Mudshark Eric. Hey, folks, follow Eric on Twitch. He's working on some interesting stuff, and you can see a different person doing test-driven development in a different way because they're a different person. That's how it works. So do check out, follow Eric, and check out his stream and see what you think. Welcome, Bebate. And so the reason I introduce myself, of course, is for the folks, hey, Grant, for the folks who are watching after the fact and happen to stumble upon this, either on Twitch. A fair number of folks watch after this goes, we shut this down. And that's great. Give me a follow over there and on YouTube. So I'm John Reed. I am a developer and a coach. Coaching may seem like an odd thing. If you've never been with a technical coach before, what does a coach do? Hey, Michaela, it works. Whatever you did, you scared Twitch into submission. I'm glad that Michaela is finally able to post hello. And yeah, there was yesterday there was a good iOS dev happy hour. I always, I'll confess to you, Michaela, it was the VPN. Oh, okay, good learning. So turn off the VPNs when you want to join the stream and want to participate in the chats. I confess, Michaela, that I find iOS Dev Happy Hour a little intimidating because I'm quite an introvert. I wouldn't say an extreme introvert because I'm a social introvert, but I have to sort of screw myself up to it, work up the courage. And I think I learned yesterday, like I showed up late and that felt kind of nice. I know I missed the main speaker, but I guess my encouragement to folks watching is if like you look at iOS Dev Happy Hour and you think, oh my gosh, 2 hours of socializing with people I probably don't know, well, then make it shorter. There's no law saying you have to stay there for the entire time. Show up. Experience iOS Dev Happy Hour. Michaela, can you post a link to something for folks? And show up. And because it's well structured, well organized. There are a lot of breakouts, either by topic or random, where it's just like being at a party where you just sort of bump into people and say hello and start talking about stuff. And oh, thanks, Grant. I recommend it. Yep. I do recommend it. So I was glad I was able to do that. And the other thing is that Michaela and team shift the time around. So it's not always at the same time. And I'm sure that's to accommodate different people in different parts of the world. So if you see the invite for the next time and you think, oh my gosh, that time is not going to work for me, well, then it doesn't work for you. And that's okay. catch it the next time when it'll be at some other time. And eventually it'll be at a time that might work for you. So check it out. We are working on our project for quite some time now, I know. But it's not just ship stuff. Well, we're here to learn. Also, I am still very new to SwiftUI. So you're all helping me. This is what we did last time. Some of the highlights was I learned about grid, the grid view. We learned that in Xcode, if you want to do replace all in selection, all you have to do is hold down the Option key, and it changes from like replace all to just the selected area, which is super helpful. I learned that opening up the developer documentation window is a lot easier to read than just going to the help inspector. It's pretty nice. Learned that I actually had a break in my TCR scripts, a defect, which I fixed. So if you go, if you want to try TCR, let's see if I can dig that up for you. If you want to try my scripts, here they are. Interesting thing about these scripts is because unlike normal TCR scripts where it's a single script, in order to work with Xcode, I had to split it into two scripts, one for what to do on when the tests pass, and another on what to do if a test fails. And yesterday, I'm coaching someone in Germany on Saturdays, and he uses the TCR commit script. So it's like if the tests pass, boom, it asks for a commit message and commits. Like it's really streamlined, but he does it without using the revert side. This is the scary bit. So if you just use the commit side without the revert side, I think that these scripts could be more, the commit side especially, could be more useful to more people without having to jump all the way into the scary side of doing the revert on test failure. Right? And I turn that on and off as I need to, depending on how I'm working with code. Anyway, that's fixed. Learned that a good way to TDD a view, this seems so dumb to say it, but it makes sense, is instead of just slapping it inside of the large view, the screen, and trying to TDD it there, to pull it out, isolate it to something small, to its own file, and then TDD it in isolation. That goes a lot easier. We're going to continue doing that today because I got stuck last time on some things. And I shared my find view snippet. That was my first time actually using it live, so it was a little awkward, but that's a helper for View Inspector to say, you know what, I want to find this view by its accessibility ID, and it makes an extension to the inspectable view to get at the subview you want. So Michaela, I like what Eric says. Why wait? There is no 100% unit test coverage. in spite of what my manager says. It's a lie. Uh, Start when you're in a project, which is almost every project that is not fully TDD'd. Start by just saying, I'm going to forget all the rest of it. I'm working on a new struct, a new class, new something, a new feature. And try to TDD that. Like that. Yeah. Let's see. Rick, I feel like the revert part would be a bit jarring. Exactly. But that's the whole point. But maybe that's because I still make big changes. That is sort of the weird threat of TCR is you code along and then run the tests and oh no, you just lost everything. Well, that's a learning thing. That's part of the fun. The challenge of TCR is learning to work in smaller steps. Oh, good reminder from Grant. Code coverage is a lie, not just the 100% part. I need to shout this loud at work, like I think I need to give a talk at work, that if something is not covered, that is, if you look in the code coverage and it's red, well, that's true. But if it is green, that doesn't mean anything. Only the negative means anything. Positive means nothing. And so you can have 100% code coverage full of bugs. And I don't just mean like your tests are wrong. I mean, there aren't enough tests. You could still have 100% code coverage. Wow. Okay, that was a lot of summary, a lot of recap, great discussion. Hey, Marcus. Marcus, I didn't get to say hi to you yesterday at the iOS Dev Happy Hour, but I saw you there. And it's fun to, I think another neat thing about, I wouldn't call myself a regular. I'm relying more on the fact that I know lots of you through other means, is to show up and see, oh, here's somebody I know. The other part is if you come back to iOS Dev Happy Hour, there'll probably be somebody you met last time. That's where I freak out. I am petrified of showing up at a party where I know nobody. That, even though I'm a totally sociable introvert, that scares me. So find a way. Maybe go with a buddy even. There's an idea. Okay, we are working. By the way, I was just before this, I realized this discovery tree is too big. And if you see the white parent here, the parent node, which this just says mastermind, the game. And white is like, what's the root, basically? What is the thing you're working on? And I realized mastermind is too big for one tree. So I started to split off for history. Like, here's all the stuff we did on project setup, which was quite a bit, you know? Look at all this. That's a lot of stuff. So I'll clean this up. The tree is, I can never remember the commands. Is it help? There we go. You can go to this link and get the commands to see things like get the links to the repo, get the link to this discovery tree. Oh, that's a good point also from Michaela, that you can, if you're feeling shy, you can lurk. You can lurk. Thank you for that permission, Michaela. Anyway, so I was starting to break stuff off, but I haven't trimmed it out. This was just a big copy. So I'm going to start winnowing this down into smaller, manageable trees. We are working on feedback of the check guess button to show feedback about the guess. We want to show we TDD'd a way to take a guess and the secret and say, what is the feedback we want to show? Now we want to take that feedback and render it as excuse me. Let me just do goodbye. Spammers are not welcome. Lurkers are welcome. People who want to ask random questions unrelated to what we're directly doing are welcome. Let's see. So we wanted to take that feedback. Okay. So we started to make a feedback view, started to TDD it. Let's review what the tests are so far. We have a test that says if all the feedback is 4 empty pegs, then when we get the color for each peg, that they're all unselected. And this was done with real brute force. This is gross code. Documentation publishing? You mean DocC stuff? Like the fancy stuff you've done at work, which I'm super impressed with. No, I think DocC only makes sense for like when there are other coders involved. Let's take a quick look at. So you were able to do it to document your app, huh? Yeah, I have no plans to do that for Mastermind. Mainly because I don't think anyone else is going to be, working in it. But I'm totally impressed. I guess the main reason for me to do that would be to learn how to do that, right? So. Okay, so we've got some. This is all hard coded. It is gross. There's duplication. Can you all spot the duplication? It's not hard. We've got these lines repeated except for the accessibility identifier. That's different between these. Currently the colors are hard coded when they need to come from something. This is what we wanted to do. These are the feedback states. There's empty, correct, and misplaced. These have colors just to be bogus. These are not actual colors. They're just placeholders to keep the compiler happy. Was hoping to get this in place and look it up from the feedback pegs. As soon as I did this, our game screen tests bombed out because this exists on the game screen and it depends on the feedback pegs, which didn't exist or were empty. And so it was looking up stuff, right? Trying to index into the array, bombing out. So this feels like let's go back to and do this on the board. So these are some of the things we want to take care of. I'm just going to move these aside. To do this, I need to first initialize feedback. Grant, you do it in all projects? Oh, I see. I see. Well, that's an interesting reason to do it. That's a very interesting reason to do it. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, why not? Treat yourself. In feedback view. So I need to do this. Right. Exactly. It's like JavaDoc. I'll let the other folks explain. Stuff for me to learn. I kind of want to make notes here. Things we've already talked about. Seems like there's a lot to learn about Doxy. So thanks, Marcus, for poking me. I guess I'll give you permission to keep poking me. Not that you need permission. Okay, let's do this as a step. So this is what I'm doing here is it's on the discovery tree, but it's somewhat more similar to the Mikado method. The Mikado method is a technique for refactoring, for doing large refactors and making changes where you discover in order to make a change, you need to make a change. And the basic idea, which is we can sort of do here, is if you start down a road, which we did, and boom, run into a wall because you discover something you need first, the interesting trick about the Mikado method is to say, I'm gonna reset hard. I'm gonna wipe out all my changes and note the precondition, the prerequisite in my tree. They actually use a tree in the Mikado method, and start from there, and then keep going until you're finally able to get something done. So let's see if we can't do this. So if we've got the feedback view and it's got the pegs in place, then in the game screen where we set up the feedback view, well, this is funny. Maybe it's somewhere else where it's dying. I am setting the feedback pegs in there from the initial feedback, which should create the thing from the size. Oh, maybe it's the size we're doing wrong. Which comes back to this note. Maybe it's the lack of the secret and our hard-coded size. Moving away from Booleans. Love it. So maybe the problem is not that I didn't set up the thing. Maybe it is that the secret is too small. Maybe it is that there is no secret. Let's find out. I guess an easy way to find out would be to just see it bomb again, because I don't remember what happened. Feedback color for peg. Thanks, Michaela. Take care. Good night. Yes, I think that's what it was, Mudshark, that it was something about the secret size being less than 4 since we started off with the simple version of 2. Maybe it's time to revisit that. So I haven't... Game screen tests, we have... Oh, secret size of 1. Does that mean that we can replace this with the feedback color for that? Like, can I do that much? Maybe I was over aggressive. Let's see if we have enough to do this. And I've got TCR on, I believe, so let's see if this reverts. Crash. Okay. Calm down. Reverted. Kind of want to know why. So, why didn't it revert? It didn't revert. Oh, shame. Oh, for shame. Oh, yeah, I remember Bill suggested something, but I think I want to keep going down this road and fixing it up first, because I think grid rows is going to be still the solution we want. Why did it not revert completely? I don't know, but let's do something else that I normally have off, and that is in the scheme. Let's turn on the debugger. Keep the debugger off in your test scheme, kids, until you need it. I know It's not this way at work. I think if I made this change at work, people would scream. That's okay. I turn it off locally. And I'm surprised it didn't revert. Maybe it's because it crashed instead, and yet it said reverted, which was a lie. Is it doing anything? What the heck? Oh, is it attaching still? That's an idea, Marcus. Maybe I'll use that at work. That way I don't have to keep turning it on and off all the time, which is a royal pain. Okay. Hmm. That's actually a really good idea. I'm gonna jot that down for going back to work tomorrow. Cup use local scheme. Because the only time it becomes a problem to use a local copy of a scheme, is when the scheme itself changes, which that is the contents somehow change, the definition of the scheme changes, which doesn't happen very often. And when that happens, you just delete it and recreate it. Okay. I'm having a hard, I see. I'm getting confused by all these reds, which are there from the previous crash. Here's the actual problem, it seems. Why? Oh, it stopped there because I had a breakpoint there. Duh! And here now it's out of range. Why is it out of range when we're trying to index feedback pegs 0? Feedback pegs, in fact, has no values. Why not? We're inside. Go back. Oh, that's some other stuff. Who knows? Get out of sort of the inspectable view side of things. Skip over all this view inspector, and let's get back here. No, it's still inside of here for some reason. Okay, so that's why I had that breakpoint there. John. Let's run this one by itself. And go in. The game has a secret size of 2. Whoa. We're stepping into scary observable stuff, looks like. See, I want to know why, when I set up the game screen, aren't we doing this? Let's try this again. Smash G. Or the game secret. Oh, the secret is empty. I set I set the secret size, but there is no secret on it. It seems. That's what it looks like. I'm still old school PO. Yeah, there's nothing there. Okay, so answer is we set the secret size, but we didn't give it a secret. Yeah, PO. Yeah, Marcus knows what I'm talking about. It's such an old habit that, I mean, is it just P? Well, that works. Is it? There are all these, the new kids, you know, as of 10 years ago. Maybe I just need to get in the habit of P. Okay, let's. Oh. Oh. Let's try it. That's a. Let's try. I'm going to stick the breakpoint down there again, and let's go. This time, I'm going to use P. Actually, I'll just up arrow. There we go. And actually, I kind of want to see, how's this different from PO? Or is it? Other than saying the name of the type. Oh, it's very different. I see. It gives more, looks like it gives more type information. There's a part of it that seems more familiar to me. It seems more JSON-y. It's not quite. It looks like a matter of preference. I'm not sure which I like better yet. Anyway, here's the question. What happens now? Oh no, let's keep the debugger on. Let us run all tests. There we go. It's asking for a commit message, but I'm afraid to give it one because I'm not quite sure what I did. Let's review. Well, there's the debugger. Let's take care of that. That's what I get tired of doing at work. And so, yeah, I'll use a local scheme. It'll make life easier. Okay. So we hard-coded that, and we reversed that. And we might still have issues around the sizes, but good eye there. Is this dangerous temporal coupling? I'm looking at this line here, and it feels weird. I don't think it's dangerous, too dangerous of temporal coupling, because the test crashed. That that caught the coupling, but it wasn't obvious. And a good thing to aim for is to make it harder to make that bug, even if the tests catch it. But let's commit it for now. Set feedback peg 1. And hopefully that did the push as well. Yes, it did. We've got the stray update stuff from refresh file status. So Eric is wondering, shouldn't to make a new game, shouldn't it take the secret? Or, but it's the game that is making the secret in this case. It's kind of like, I want to play a new game is our version of I want to make a new secret. We don't have any sense yet of the number of rounds in the game, so the game will get more information. So make a new secret comes first. It's the start of things. Still, we've got really awful dots here. Like so many dots. By that I mean this. Game dot. Secret dot. Initial feedback dot. That bugs me. I think that making a new secret maybe ought to return something that we assign into the feedback pegs. I don't know. That maybe is conflating too many things. So make new secret has no return type. It's just sort of setting up state of the game. Yes, yes. Yes, Alex. Ozun. Type safety and making it harder, if possible, impossible, to represent incorrect state. I think that it might be nice if in the process of making a new secret, we got the pegs back. And that's what we use. And yet it feels like it's doing two different things. One is making the secret and the other is making the pegs, setting up the initial pegs. To do this. How to do this? Who should do what? Is the secret? The secret seems to be responsible for providing that feedback. And the pegs come from there. Oh. Sorry, folks, for me grumbling here. I should get out of grumble mode and either come back to this. Maybe I'll bookmark it. let's make a note. So we have at the bookmark a violation of the law of Demeter. This did work. So we'll revisit this, okay? I think it's, I want to get unstuck. I'm getting too far in my head, and I want to get back to the feedback view. Because this duplication of color unselected is actually kind of a lie right now. It's Kent Beck talks about something in his book that never struck me in because I didn't. Strange, I didn't read TDD by example until about a year ago. But of the types of duplication, he highlights duplicate values as a type of duplication, and they're misleading. This is the actual value we want. On the other hand, we don't have a test that's driving this yet. So I could put feedback peg 0 everywhere, which is wrong. Maybe I should do that. Let's see. I want to take this note from Mud Shark. Oops. For later, because that seems important. Okay, I'm going to do the gross thing. And this will still pass, but it is incorrect. And it is more obviously incorrect than before. I'm doing TDD triangulation by having something implemented not quite right yet. So if we say use all right, now I should be able to create another test. Before we do that, is there anything in here? A single loop? Would a grid item? Okay. Oh, that's what I didn't get. Thank you. I wonder if there's anything about this test before I start duplicating it or making it parameterized. If there's any way, anything to clean up here. I think it's okay. Oh, yeah. Maybe. We'll find out. I'm going to start by renaming this test. And I'm going to copy and paste it. This is applesauce. And let's say the pegs are correct. I may end up with a single test, but triangulation seems to be a good way to get there right now. So if I just say, let's have one thing that's correct, then this should be black. Which way does it go? Yeah, I think it is. I think black is in the correct position as opposed to white. I don't know if I want to. Oh, because it would be a semantic meaning that we could change without having the color everywhere. Got it. That's a good idea. All right, let us note this. Oh, I've got it right here. Black for correct, white for misplaced, and first thing I want to do is then add new color assets. Good idea. I wouldn't have thought, I was just going to put black everywhere because there already is color black. But what if we decide to change it? Then I'd have black everywhere in the code, and this, by defining this color out here, it's a layer of indirection, which is interesting. So can I copy, duplicate this? I can. This will be correct. And make it black. One at a time, John. No, let's put them both in. I'm here. Misplaced is going to be nice. What the heck? Oh, I forgot I was still writing this. And clearly my revert is broken. Damn it. All right, let's see if we can't fix up the revert. Because that should have gone away. That should have just disappeared. What is wrong with my revert? Let's double check that. Fail. TCR revert is on. Like if I do it again, I don't want it as a question. I want it as a hard smack. And yet, I can imagine a different script, maybe a soft revert that asks and does it. Yeah. So what's wrong here? Git restore staged dot. This is the git clean. Maybe this isn't enough. Maybe this isn't quite right yet. So the clean CDH is a nice thing I like, where it's like CD history. Okay, so it reverted the new files. But git restore stage doesn't do that. Okay, so it needs the reset hard. I think it needs that as well. Let's try adding that and like that. So it'll reset hard, and then it gets unstages stuff that was staged that's still hanging around, and it cleans it out. Something like that. With that, now we're back to this. Now let's move in small steps back out here. Where correct is, oh, wrong one. Black, do that. At this point, this is just a new file, and so that should slap right in. I kind of want to repeat the mistake I made to know if I'm doing it all right. So what did I do? I moved in multiple steps. First, I copied this and changed it to applesauce, and changed this to correct, which then yields like I hadn't done this yet. I hadn't fixed up this test to pass. I forgot I wasn't working in TDD. Well, I forgot I left this test out there. That was the problem. So if I now go back, I just want to make sure I'm doing this. If I just make another color, it doesn't matter, it's going to blow it away. Hopefully now the test will disappear. Like if I look right now, we have the new file. That's the thing that was in the way last time. And the modified file that if I run, test will fail. This should disappear. It does. And that disappears. Okay. I feel like maybe the script might be overkill. There might be a simpler way to express what I need, but now it's better again. All right. Let us now, come on. Hello. I'm clicking you. What's wrong? Oh man, I think Xcode is mad at me. Let's close it. Yeah, I pissed it off. Hey, Johannes. All right, let's now define misplaced. That's right. Why didn't they call them interfaces? It kind of bugs me how I have to translate things in. So it's like the rest of the world uses certain terms, and maybe that's too broad. But the books I read to learn the stuff use terms like interfaces. So what's wrong with, why didn't Swift call them interfaces? Probably because they were protocols in Objective-C. Why did they call them protocols in Objective-C? Probably because, oh, Objective-C was first. Objective-C is 30 years old, over 30 years old. Anyway, you learn to translate things between different languages and different sets of developers. Okay, let us come back here and let us try again. This, I know how to get this to work in small steps. Ready? Boom. These are incorrect. But I want to start with correct. So this is I'm just going to call this test pegs because I feel like probably the reason, Johannes, is probably because the Swift person or the iOS developer has never worked in a different language. Delegates are different. Delegates are a different thing. They're not singletons. Well, Grant, that gets into something that we don't have, but we do have in Swift, and that is abstract base classes, ABCs. We don't have abstract base classes, and yet we sort of have them by being able to add behavior to protocols. So, yeah. Okay, I want a mix here. So I want correct. Let's start with one correct, and let's just get this in. This will not fail or anything because there are no assertions, because we're doing TCR. Namespace folder. Let's see. This is a new test. So Eric, do you mean, and I said this at the beginning of the show, but there are more folks here. Folks, follow Eric. He streams test-driven development and is working on a fairly complicated Mac app built in Swift UI. And you'll see somebody else do TDD in a different way. How about that? You are saying a folder with a namespace. I don't even know quite what this is. So this is pegs. Like this. Let me commit this. Uh-huh. This makes sense. Because otherwise you end up with just a flat mess of junk all over the place. That's its namespace for pegs. Okay, so if I want unselected in there, I'm going to do this like that. First, unused. This will pass. Copy unselected into pegs. Now I should be able to start switching it over, doing a parallel change cutover. This is interesting, and I want to note this. Okay, so here, if we have pegs unselected, I feel weird about having the capital P in there, but I guess I could make it lowercase. Like what are the rules here for naming assets? Clearly it makes it like, what if I just made this lowercase just to satisfy me? And what if I made this lowercase? Wouldn't that let me pin unselected? This namespace thing though. Oh, you do Lua. I've never done that. Let's try again. Pegs. Uh-oh. I think it's insisting on the name. Let me do a quick build back. And let's try peg. No, it's pretty insistent. Okay. That's all right. Pegs. Unselected. This, I think, pegs. Boo. I have no idea. I mean, I'd rather have it this way, but now did it fail? Because it's not asserting by identity. Like, isn't this the same as that? Like, if I just go in here, isn't it the exact same value? Apparently not. Why? Oh, look at this. It is not comparing the colors. It is comparing the assets themselves. All right. Well then, we'll work with that. We'll do it in both places. This should pass. Use pegs unselected, which means I can now get rid of this one out here, and this should still pass. Build failed. Unselected is used for more than pegs. I've got some duplication here. How to do this? What do I want? Because I kind of like the unselected as a general color. Okay. Let us reset. I think I want to revert the last change. Yeah. Hang on, let's do this proper like. Let's revert that one. That's an option, except I feel like the language needs to have unselected be the same across whatever you're talking about, the design language. But I will move these unused ones in here. They're not used yet, so they should just fly in. With this oddball. Yeah, and that's where Mudshark, you're feeling that the duplication would be harmless, maybe even clearer. I'm going to live with it for now. All right. Back to where we are. You do duplicate colors based on content if they do have this different purpose in the code, because at some point the element might change and coupling between the elements seems unnecessary. Yeah, that's a good counter argument. Good counter argument. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. So now we'll do that change again. I'm going to make this pegs and we'll fix these up in one shot. Okay, you win. All right, with that, here's what I want. I want this to be pegs correct, and I think this might pass. No, it won't. Let's do it again. Because correct is not set. Now it'll pass. Okay. To see this fail, I can just change it to something else. This is reverse TDD with TCR. Get it to pass first, and then still always see the test fail. Great. Now these are wrong. So this is the next step. I feel like this would be scarier still in a language that didn't have static type checks. So now we can get the correct did that? Now we can basically finish this off, I think. What do I imagine? I imagine one correct, one misplaced. Where to do that, we're going to get, whoops. Like that. I believe this will pass. It will crash. It will crash because we don't have our size set up. We're directly referencing a peg that's out of view. And this is where the grid, what was it? Grid item comes into play. Let's learn a little bit. Actually, first, what are some more learnings we've had along the way? It's easier to do this on the fly rather than trying to remember. Namespace in assets. New thing. Oh, I think I forgot to fix. Whoops. How did this happen? not sure how it happened, but let's see what happens with the poll. Oh, I think I failed to push, and then TCR did its own push. So got a bit confused there. That's all right. Speaking of TCR, I think I forgot to commit this. So now it is doing a reset hard. Again, this is a then I'm going to push this up so that it's available on the TCR site. I'm eyeing the time right now. Git clean force delete wiped some documentation files that were elsewhere in the repo tree but not yet committed. You may want to add a path to the clean command to keep in the source folders. Again, I'm not sure why we would want to exclude stuff from the clean. Maybe I'm not understanding you. But I am eyeing the time. Let's do. Not sure that this is nest. I'll keep it there because I'm not sure what it's about. Well, why didn't you commit them? So this crashed again on the second color. I am noting this as the place to continue next time. And that grid item may be the solution we need to keep it flexible. There we go. I think that's a good session. What else do we learn? What else do we explore? What else do we try? Any other thoughts of stuff you want to note as observations? This is for posterity. Oh, local schemes. Thank you. Thank you. And the other thing is still a puzzle, but I don't want to forget it. So I'm going to put it down as actually a task, not a note. So that's another thing, I think, an observation, which we'll fix at some point, is to address the law of Demeter. All right. Good time. Good session. I know most streamers just keep going and going and going, partly because they take a break in the middle and come back, and I've got other things I want to do today. So do you. Maybe not. Maybe you have no life. That's why you're on this stream, because whatever. I'm being silly. All right. So let's see. Next week, I'll be off. I'll be gone. So no stream. We'll take a break next Sunday. Should be back the Sunday after that. And folks who are watching after the fact, train your algorithms. Do the follow, do the like, do the subscribe, do whatever. Twitch folks, consider subscribing. Yeah, that is about it. Did I fail to record this? Oh, no, I did. The recording is on. Good. That makes my life easier for post-processing for YouTube. Okay. Thanks very much. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in 2 weeks. All right. Bye-bye.